Good afternoon and welcome to UCEA nominee interviews. This is Tori Benura, graduate research assistant and doctoral student at UCEA headquarters at Michigan State University. I'm here today to interview Dr. Miriam Ezzani as part of her candidacy for UCEA president. Today, listeners will be hearing from Dr. Ezzani, who is an associate professor of K-12 educational administration or educational leadership at Texas Christian University. Her research focuses on district and school reform efforts. She specifically investigates the implementation of culturally responsive leadership, examining its vital intersection with race and faith to create more equitable learning environments. She also brings critical insights into the distinctive field of Islamic school leadership. Welcome, Dr. Ezzani. Let's begin with the first
Thank
question.
you.
Please tell us about your background
Hello,
and your scholarship as it relates to leadership in preparation and practice.
thank you for that question. Hello, Tori. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you for facilitating today, Tori. And I just want to say that it's truly an honor to serve on the executive committee and to be nominated for the presidency. And I'm thrilled to be here today. In terms of my background, I'm a product of public education. And I attended schools in the Los Angeles Unified School District, where I later served as a teacher and then literacy coach. When I think about my career in education, it started where it matters most in the schools. I began as a second grade teacher in the inner city of Los Angeles. And honestly, the students were a delight. Most of my students were students of color, some were bilingual emergent, most were economically disadvantaged, and a few had some learning difficulties or disabilities. All of them were eager to learn, and I learned so much from them and their families and the community. So those practical experiences shaped my perspective on the real world complexities we face in preparing students, who we hope one day will shape a society that's caring, human-centered, and innovative. And these experiences inspired me to return to school and earn my master's in TESOL with specialization in reading interventions. Then, while serving as a school leader, I pursued a doctorate in K-12 ed leadership at the University of Southern California. My dissertation was more than just an academic exercise. It was a direct continuation of the questions that I grappled with daily as a school leader. The result was my research on how districts prepare site administrators for data-driven decision-making. And this was really born out of the desire to prepare leaders and teachers to use data effectively and systemically for the most underserved students. So fast forward to my role now as faculty at TCU, my teaching and mentoring are dedicated to the next generation. In other words, developing school and district leaders and professors through our master's and doctoral programs. And all of these efforts combined really speak to UCA's mission of improving the preparation of educational leaders and professors. With respect to my research, the focus is on educational reform through the lens of culturally responsive leadership, exploring the intersection of race and faith. You'll find me conducting research in large public school systems and in Islamic school settings, a perspective that aligns perfectly with UCA's commitment to transforming schools and communities for the success of students. So all of these efforts contribute to UCA's mission and goals.
Great, thank you. The
Welcome.
next question is, you have served for several years as a plenum representative. Tell us about your engagement in UCA's governance.
All right. Well, my engagement in UCA governance really is twofold. Now, as an executive committee member, and previously as a plenum representative. And so these roles honestly were a culmination of my desire to be engaged with UCA. It's really a story of growing involvement, and let me explain. My journey with UCA began in 2013 when I attended my first annual convention. For more than a decade, I've served as a proposal reviewer and attendee at every annual convention. I served on the plenum for the University of North Texas and Texas Christian University, a total of 6 years. And those who have led their institutions to full membership will appreciate this little piece that I'm about to share with you. And that is that I led the effort to move both UNT and TCU from associate to full membership. It was important that I work in institutions that were full UCA members. So the idea is that there's power in numbers, to learn from one another, but also to be a united front. So growing our consortium of universities is critical to me. Other levels of engagement include serving 4 years as co-editor of the UCA Review. I also served on several committees, including the advisory board for the UCA Program Centers for 6 years, the Publications Committee for 3 years, various nominating and award committees, occasionally chairing them. I also had the pleasure of serving on the Denver Convention Planning Committee in 2017 when Dr. Mariela Rodriguez was the president-elect. But hands down, the most enjoyable service has been mentoring Jackson and Clark scholars and serving as a discussant in the Graduate Student Summit for the last 7 years. So the long and short of it is, I looked for opportunities to engage right from the beginning. And then literally, Tori, I never said no to any executive director or associate director who has asked me to serve. So all of these roles have led to my current role as an elected UCA executive committee member, and I'm honored to continue serving.
Thank you. Those are all great examples of how you've been involved with UCEA. The next question is regards to in what other ways have you been engaged with UCEA? Do you have anything else to add to that?
I think I've included all of the different ways. I mean, it's possible that I could have missed some. Well, I've actually served as a reviewer for journals of UCA like EAQ, JARLE, and JCEL. I also review for the three journals as well. So I guess I could add that tidbit.
All right, great. That is a lot on your plate. Thank you for that. The next
Of course.
question is, please discuss with us your scholarship, research projects, teaching, and/or service that can inform the work of UCEA, particularly the work of the executive committee.
Well, my work is really centered on making schools better, more inclusive, and equitable for minoritized students. My scholarly research has been dedicated to education reform, looking closely at culturally responsive leadership through the lens of race and faith, with a particular focus on students of color and Muslim students. My commitment to UCA's mission runs deep, really, in my role as an academic and mentor. I've had the great privilege of guiding another generation of practitioners and scholars. For instance, I've chaired 25 dissertations and I've served on over 40 dissertation committees. Many of these topics directly address the essential problems of schooling and leadership practice, both of which are central to UCA's mission. And in terms of my scholarship, I don't just keep the research in academic journals. I'm deeply committed to putting it into practice. For example, Dean Hernandez and I have a multi-year grant to develop the leadership pipeline in our neighboring school districts through the Aspiring Principal Leadership Academy. which is a partnership between TCU and the local school districts. And this work directly aligns with UCEA's mission to improve professional development for leaders, as well as to forge partnerships with nonprofits and local governing bodies, which is also relevant to UCEA's core mission. In terms of developing future faculty, the graduate courses I design and teach, like Cultural Foundations in Ed Leadership, are a direct reflection of my commitment to training future leaders who will champion equity. I've been actively mentoring research assistants and doctoral students for over a decade to foster new talent at TCU and UCEA. And then finally, my service specifically in leadership and governance includes serving as TCU's IRB vice chair, where I work with the larger committee to ensure ethical and regulatory compliance and research. I've also been active in the broader community, serving on public school committees, private school boards, community organizational boards, including holding a term as president of a board. These varied governance roles have taught me how to lead in ways that honor the mission, the values, and the constituents who we serve, which includes upholding fiduciary responsibility of managing resources, ensuring financial sustainability, and maintaining the public trust. And these are all things that are done on the UCEA Executive Committee. All of these experiences, from research to practice to community leadership, inform the work that I do and the comprehensive perspective that I bring to the UCEA Executive Committee and to the presidency.
Thank you. Our last question is, could you share the reasons why you have chosen to run for the UCEA president and your vision for the future of UCEA?
Of course. Well, my decision to run for UCEA president stems from a deep-seated commitment to serve and a proven track record of supporting UCEA in various capacities. After serving in numerous roles, I've really gained a deep understanding of UCEA's inner workings, including its strengths and challenges. And in brief, I take pride in rising to the occasion when asked to serve UCEA. Before articulating a vision for UCEA's future, it's important to say that I value and respect those within UCEA who have paved the way by recognizing their contributions and building on the strong foundations they established. And it's the president's role to ensure continuity in strong leadership by working closely with the governing bodies to execute the strategic plan and maintain organizational momentum. The president should also support those who will follow by making transparent, informed decisions that strengthen the organization for the next generation of scholars and leaders. I see my leadership as one of support, execution, and maintaining a broad perspective, ensuring that the collectively crafted vision, so it's not necessarily my vision, but it's a vision that's been collectively crafted, that it be carried forward effectively and responsibly. So I do aspire for UCEA to play a more prominent role in national and international conversations in education policy. Our research should not only inform scholars and practitioners, but also actively inform policy that benefits schools and communities. Strong leadership requires courage, a clear vision, and the ability to take action, even in the face of fear. That's something that we're dealing with right now, in the state of our socio-political context. So the anchor to such conviction, I believe, is unity. And I'd like to see UCEA grow in membership and unify in ways that move the needle in our field of educational leadership. And finally, I've gained so much from my involvement with UCEA, and serving in the role of president would be one more way to give back.
Great. Thank you so much for your time and your very thoughtful responses.
Thank you for
This,
the interview, Tori, and thank you to the listening audience. I'm appreciative of the opportunity to serve on the EC, and as president, should the plenum choose to elect me. Thank you so very much.
yes, thank you. This interview will be archived on the UCEA YouTube channel. Listeners can access it at any time. We also encourage listeners to post comments and questions on this interview in the comment section. Thank you again.
Thank you.